Just for context, right?
Go ahead, Mark.
He said it's not He said it's not my music. I don't come from the ghetto. It doesn't speak my language. And as I said in print many times, hip hop does not belong in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, nor does opera or symphony orchestras. How come the New York Philharmonic doesn't get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Because it's called the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And then one more thing, he said he said Ice Cube and I had a back and forth about this. He's a bright guy and I respect what he's done. He shot back that it's the spirit of rock and roll. So Ice Cube and Grandmaster Flash and all these guys are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I just want to know when Led Zeppelin is going to be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame.
They might be. When the levee breaks has been used.
This is the worst argument I've ever heard. Honestly,
look, that was my point. I don't think his argument is bad until he starts to mention the ghetto shit and all of that other stuff. Because to his point, the opera not in the Hall of Fame, right? They're not gonna go get these genres of music and put it in the Hall of Fame. Cool. When you say the ghetto shit, now you putting this stigma on hip hop music, and all hip hop music is not some ghetto
There's
shit.
also been plenty of rock music that came from the ghetto.
Ghettos.
Also,
a lot of white people live in the ghetto.
I feel like that's beside the point. Let's say the ghetto. We all agree the ghetto shit was out of pocket, right?
Yes.
Let's assume he's the biggest racist in the world. That doesn't change the argument. The argument, right? If his argument is
none of these other genres,
right? None of these other genres that aren't rock and roll are in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Why should hip hop be in the Rock and Roll? That's what I'm wondering. What's the argument for it being
opposed to that?
I don't think that's a bad argument from him. I think it's fair.
True.
My response to that would be, well, first off, I'm biased. I believe that hip hop belongs anywhere you put it. Part of that is because it encompasses all things. So when you say that Outkast is in the hip hop, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame,
that's a good point.
I believe that they should be, and they have plenty of rock elements in their music. When you talk about Chuck D and Public Enemy being in there, more the same. Run DMC, more the same. Some of the hip hop acts, you can't say that for some of the rock and roll acts. That has nothing to do with hip hop. So why would it be in the hip hop Hall of Fame?
That makes sense.
That would be my response.
I also don't have a concrete evidence.
I get the point, but I wouldn't agree with that.
I'm sure there's some rock and roll acts in the Hall of Fame, or will be in the future, that incorporated hip hop shit into it. So like, what are we even talking about?
I hate that the comparison is like, oh, well, what about the Hip Hop Hall of Fame? As if, in my opinion, the Rock, the Roll Hall of Fame and the Hip Hop Hall of Fame are on the same levels. You know what I mean?
That's why I don't want to be in the Rock and Roll. My bigger point is I don't want to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
So,
fuck their Hall of Fame.
Exactly, but it's always like that.
But
with us.
why is that their Hall of Fame when we invented rock and roll?
No. I don't mean that black people shouldn't be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because we created it. I'm talking about just hip hop. I'm saying I want hip hop that black people created to be in the Hip Hop Hall of Fame, and I want rock that black people created to be in the Rock Hall of Fame. Sure. I'm just saying
this should be a music Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
they should just rename the fucking shit. Put everything in there. That's all I'm saying.
That's kind of his point though. If this is just the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, if it's the Music Hall of Fame, then classical, Philharmonic, all of that shit. If we allow it hip hop, then we should be allowing it all.
I would have loved to hear more of that in his messaging about just changing the name of the Hall of Fame versus insulting hip hop and saying I don't come from.
And again, like I said, he's constantly
his true thoughts came out.
Yeah, that's what it is.
To be clear, he said more. He said hip hop is just spoken word put to a beat. Like he dismissed hip hop as
mostly
a genre.
Production. It rides on the production. Like he said, he's over the years have been taking his digs at hip hop.
But he's old and he's outdated and he's stupid because at the end of the day, even with the ghetto line, hip hop, I'm not from the ghetto. Hip hop was birthed in the ghetto. Hip hop is fucking huge billion-dollar business in fucking Japan, here, there, whatever. That's the hip hop is not a ghetto thing. It just comes from the ghetto. So Mark, I don't get the fucking thing. I think you were about to go here.
Kiss just ain't got enough slaps.
Dog, my thing.
They don't.
I like that argument.
You
don't know what you're talking about.
There's some people who can have this conversation.
And they're all ugly. All of them are very ugly men.
That was kind of that thing.
Fuck